Hi class, this is the practice for February 29th. It's leap year day or leap day. Anyhow, we've been doing a little bit of graphing on the coordinate plane, and we know that this is the x-axis right here, this number line. And this number line that goes up and down is the y. It says it on here, but I always like to write it a little bit bigger. So we're going to plot some points. This one is 8, 8, so that means I go 8 in the x direction first, right? So let's just make sure we know x always comes first. So we go 8 in the x direction, and then we go up to 8 in the y direction. These numbers are a little hard to read, but that's m, and label your letter, your point. I'll do another one, and then you're going to do the rest. So negative 2, 1, I'm going to go down to the left, negative 2, and I'm going to go down, right? So this is the first number is x, so it means I go left to the negatives, negative 2. Then this is the y, and that's telling me to go down. This positive is up, negative is down. So there is negative 2 in the x direction and negative 1 in the y direction. And that's our k. So now you're going to do the rest of those. And over here we have points, and I'll ask you to give me the coordinates. Name them, in other words. So let's look at Q. If I look at Q, I see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the x direction. So Q is 5 in the x direction. And then we go up 1, 2, 3 in the y direction. So you see how this is y. So we're at y is 3. And if it helps you, you can fill in these missing numbers. This is a 1, this is 2, this is a 3, this is 4, right? This is a 5. So we're at 5 in the x direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're at 1, 2, 3 in the y direction. So that's that point right there. That's the coordinates. Okay? And now you can do the rest of these. R, S, T, and P. Okay? And you can write it on here, or you can write it to the side. Notice I have parentheses and a comma. Okay, then the lesson today we learned was how to tell if an ordered pair is a solution to a linear equation. So here's a linear equation in two variables. We have an x and a y. And remember that this is an ordered pair, and first comes the x and then comes the y. So if I want to know if this is a solution, I'm going to put these values into the equation, do the math, and see if it makes a true statement. So let's see what I mean. I'm going to take the 1 and put it in for the x. So this is 2 times x. That's 2 times 1. And then I'm going to put the 4 in for the y. So that's plus 4. And that equals 6. So notice I'm substituting. Think of that as substitution. I'm substituting these values in for the variables. So 1 in for the x, 4 in for the y. Now I'm going to do this math and see if this side of the equation equals this side. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4. Does that equal 6? Well, 2 plus 4 is 6. So yes, the left side equals the right side. So when I put these values in, I get a true statement. This is true. So yes, this is a solution. Now we're going to see if this ordered pair is a solution to this equation. We'll put the 3 in for the x and the 0 in for the y. So 3 in for the x, so I get 2 times 3, plus, I put 0 in for the y, and I get this. So you must write it out like this, okay? Now I have 2 times 3 is 6, plus 0. Does that equal 6? Well, sure, 6 plus 0 is just 6, and I get 6 equals 6. So yes, this is a solution. And I'll do, I'm going to leave this one for you and see if it makes the statement true. All right, I'm going to try this one. No, I'm going to do this one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to do letter B. So I'm going to put this into the equation to see if it's a solution. So I put the 1 in for the x. So that's 4 times 1 minus 2 times 4. I put the 4 in for the y. So set it up this way. Now I'll do the math. 4 times 1 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. Does that equal 8? Well, 4 minus 8, if you use your number line or your integer rules, you'll know that that's negative 4. That does not equal 8. So this is not a solution. So when you put these values in to the equation, if it makes a statement that isn't true, it's not a solution. Okay? So you're going to try doing this again now with 3 for the x and 2 for the y, and then you're going to put 0 in for x and negative 4 in for y and see what you get. All right, so you should work on those right now while you're thinking about how to do it. I'm going to do one more from this row. I think I'll do. That's the only one with the fraction. I'd rather you try that one. Maybe I'll make this one a fraction 2. I'm going to make this one a fraction 2, 1/4. So I'll do this one, and then you, actually I'll do the 1/4, and then you can try the 1/2. Okay, so 1/4. I have to put 1/4 in for the x and negative 1 in for the y. So I have negative 1 equals. Now 4 times 1/4 minus 5. So see, I'm just putting in the x value in for the x, and I'm putting in the y value in for the y. This negative 1 in for the y. Alright, so there's my equation. Now I gotta do the math. This side's already done. So negative 1 equals, whoops, oh, so sorry. I didn't even notice what I did there. Let me just review it. I put negative 1 in for the y equals 4 times, I put 1/4 in for the x, and minus 5. Okay, so now I'm going to do the math. So 4 times 1/4, well, you know how to multiply fractions together. Just make this a fraction by putting it over 1. So that's 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 times 4 is 4, minus 5. So I just multiply top times the top, bottom times the bottom. All right, well, 4 over 4 is just 1. So I'm going to put 1 here. Negative 1 equals 1 minus 5. Now, is that true? Does negative 1 equal 1 minus 5? No. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. So they do not equal each other. So this is not a solution. No or not. Okay, I'll say no. No. So you're going to try the same thing with 1/2. Put it in for x and change this 4 into a fraction like we did here. See how it goes. Rewatch this one again if you need to see how I did it. Now you're going to try this one. And then you're going to try this one. Okay? And that's how you check to see if ordered pairs are solutions to the given equation. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side where we make solutions. So I want to find some solutions for these linear equations, okay? And there's my x and y. My solutions are going to look like ordered pairs. Remember, I told you that when you have these two variables for this linear equation, we're going to have ordered pairs as our solution. Just like here, we were checking these ordered pairs to see if they were solutions. All right, so to find some solutions for this, I'm going to need to put in an x value and get a y value. Okay, so I'm going to put in an x value of 1, and an x value of 2, and an x value of, and let's see, and a y value of, I'm thinking. -7. Okay, so to find the solutions, we're going to put 1, and I'm just picking some kind of random number. So I'm going to put 1 in for x. So y equals 4 times 1 minus 3. Okay, so I've put only the x value in now, and now I'm going to do the math to find the y value. So 4 times 1 is 4 minus 3. Okay, so 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. So when x equals 1, y equals 1. So I'm going to put my 1 in there, and so my solution is this ordered pair, 1, 1. Okay, now I'm going to put 2 in for x. So y equals 4 times 2 minus 3. So now I'm going to do the math to get the y value. So y equals 8 minus 3, right? 4 times 2 is 8 minus 3. Y equals 5. Okay, so when x equals 2, y equals 5. So the ordered pair is 2, 5. Okay, now I'm going to put this y value in here. So let's put negative 7 in for y. And now we're going to solve for x. So now we have to solve for x. Well, this is a two-step equation. This one's a little harder. How do we find the value for x? How do we get x by itself? Well, these two are best friends. So we're going to add 3 here to this side and add 3 here to this side. Okay, and we get 4x equals negative 4. Okay, so first we got rid of the negative 3 by adding it to both sides. Let me get this. Now I need to solve for x by dividing by 4. 4 is being multiplied times x, so we're going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. So we get x on the right hand side, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. It's a whole, right? That's a whole. And then we have negative divided by positive, so that's negative. So our answer is negative 1. So when y equals negative 7, x equals negative 1. And our coordinate point looks like that, our ordered pair. Okay. All right, so now you're going to try it for number 7. I'm going to give you some values, and you're going to try it for number 7. I'm going to put 5 in here. I'm going to put negative 3 in here. And for y, I'm going to put 10. Okay, so you're going to plug in the value for x and solve it for y. Then you're going to put negative 3 in for x and solve it for y. Then you're going to put 10 in for y and solve it for x. Okay, next one. Now we are going to find solutions for this equation. So I'm going to have you try it when x is equal to 0, when y is equal to 0, and when x is equal to, let me see, when x is equal to, I have to think about this for a second. I'm going to pause this. Okay, I had to take a pause there. So we're going to find solutions for this linear equation, and I gave some values. And you can choose really any value you want to. I'm choosing them very carefully so we don't have big, messy problems on our hands. But we're going to put 0 in for x here and solve for the y. So for this first solution here, I'm going to put 0 in for x. So it's 3 times 0 minus 4 times y equals 12. Okay, so I'm putting that 0 in for x. Now I have to solve for y. So 3 times 0 is 0. So 0 minus 4y equals 12. Well, we don't really need that 0 there, so I'm just going to get rid of it. So we really have, this just goes away because it's 3 times 0, it's just 0. So we really have minus 4y equals 12. Now we need to solve for y, and y is being multiplied by negative 4, so we're going to divide by negative 4 on both sides. And we get y equals, and then 12 divided by negative 4 is 3. It's going to be positive, negative, because we have a positive divided by a negative. So when x equals 0, y equals negative 3. So I put x equals 0 in there, and that makes it kind of go away because it becomes 0. And I'm left with negative 4y equals 12. Now we're going to put 0 in for the y. So I have 3x minus, and I'm going to put 4 times 0 in for the y. Now notice right now I'm just substituting in the value. Everything else stays the same. The 3x, the 0 goes in for y, and then we have that. Okay, so now we have to solve for x. Well, minus 4 times 0 is 0, so that just is going to go away. So we get 3x. This is just minus 0. We don't need the minus 0. 4 times 0 is 0, just get rid of that. 3x equals 12. Now, x is being multiplied by 3, so we'll divide it by 3. And our solution will be 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So when y equals 0, x equals 4. Now I'm going to see what happens when I put 3 in for y. 3 in for y. Alright, so let's see. Do I have room here? I'll do it right here. 3x minus 4 times 3 for the y equals 12. And now we got to do the math. We're going to solve for the x. See what the x value should be. So 3x, let's see, minus 4 times 3, that's minus 12, equals 12. Right? So we just put that 3 in for the y, and then I just multiplied negative 4 times 3, and that negative 12. So we got 3x minus 12 equals 12. Now, I have to solve for x. So this is a two-step equation. I'm going to add 12 to both sides to get rid of this minus 12, and I have 3x equals 24. And then the last step is to divide by 3, because this is a one-step equation. Divide it, we get x equals, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. So I'll put an 8 there. So now I have my solutions. I have some solutions. There's an infinite number. There's so many. Can't count them, there's so many. But these are the ones we found today. Okay, these points. So this isn't easy. I will say this is not easy, but hopefully you can learn some more equation skills, review your equation skills a little bit. And you're going to do this next one. You're going to put 0 in for x and see what you get for y. Looks very much like this one up here, where the 2x cancels out. Okay, so try this one using the same idea. Put 0 in for x, put 0 in for y, then put 10 in for x. And number 10, I'm going to give you some values here. So you're going to put a 0 in for x, a 4 in for x, and this one is tricky. I'm going to put let's see, a 2 in for y. Alright, so give that one a try. This one's a little bit trickier than some of the others, okay? Because this last one, you're going to have to know how to solve that. But do what you can and ask a question in class if you have one. Okay, hope this helps.